Such a crazy day yesterday, huh? With the NXIVM guy. Actually got an email from his brother now. We were wondering how they were going to respond. And Dan was saying he thought that what was his name? I don't even, James. James? Mark. I didn't remember his name. He's crying right now seeing that I don't even remember his name. His Dan thought he was gonna mass email him because he had emailed Dan a bunch of times leading up to it, and he was super excited. So now after this happened, we were wondering if we'd hear from them. Dan hasn't heard from him, but his brother emailed me, and straight to my personal email too, not even to my work email. So apparently his brother is capable of a little more research than him. He emailed me begging me on the note of human decency. He says, my deep and earnest request that you resend your comments that he's a scam artist because his brother vouches for him. He says, I know he's a good dude. He insists he has Tourette's, so maybe I don't know. I just know that whatever's going on with his Tourette's, there's some deception there, in my opinion. Also, his brother seems to be potentially, again, in my opinion, based on this email, a member of NXIVM as well. Tell me what you think about this, Hila. I'm going to read it. First of all, it's like a whole one. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paragraphs. So this is like probably a full on, let me do a word count on this. In college, what was a good little paper, like 500, 1,200 words, something like that. It was like just a nice little write-up. You guys want to see how many words? He sent me 781 words. That's a respectable write-up. So listen to this paragraph, Hila. I want your take on this. Hila's super into this NXIVM stuff too. Of course, he starts the email by saying, hi, I'm Mark. I'm Mark's older brother. I caught the second half of your interview with him yesterday. So you didn't even watch the whole thing? You didn't watch the whole thing? You spent more time writing me this goddamn email than you did. Just at least watch the whole thing if you're going to write 14 pages. I don't really know. I think in a way trying to signal that he can't be, he can't be fucked. And then he continues, he says, I'll save my opinion about the interview for a later time. No. What do you mean a later time, bro? How many times do you expect to talk? I'll save my opinion about the interview for our sequences of conversations down the road as our long, fruitful relationship blossoms. He says, I'm writing because I've seen Mark go through many challenges. However, never have I seen him publicly called a scam artist on a widely watched platform. Not only is it dishonorable. Bro, what am I, a samurai? Dishonorable is plainly false, he says. That's the problem, right? That's kind of what the problem was, is this guy's never been called out. That is dishonorable. Sure. I didn't even read the part about, I think he's an NXIVM, but go ahead.
So my thoughts about watching yesterday is, first of all, when you called him out on that, he did not like really argue it. Like, I feel like if I was actually sick or if I actually had Tourette's and someone had the audacity to tell me like you're faking it, I would be like, are you crazy? Like, I would have so much energy about like, hell no, this is real. I felt it. I grew up with it. And like, he didn't. It almost seemed like he was like, well, yeah, you kind of caught me.
He didn't even try to engage with it. In fact, It seemed like he tried to move past it quickly.
And then also the other thing is like, if that's really
like, they're saying you're quiet.
Oh, like you showed on the website is like, do you want to cure your Tourette's or are you tired of having it? What was the sentence on his website?
I don't remember, but it was something like
a question.
Completely, you get, that's the gist of it.
So it's totally like made a career of this.
Oh yeah.
And if you actually did that, like, wouldn't you have a few success stories of like other people that happened to them?
So he made a documentary in collaboration with NXIVM. It's actually on YouTube, so I was considering watching it, where he takes a few people with severe Tourette's and cures them through NXIVM's. I mean, here, let me read you this paragraph. He says, finally, I witnessed Mark overcome his Tourette's. I saw his severe tics make a precipitous drop after taking a NXIVM training and working with the organization's leadership on his disorder. It's like, dude, you're riding their dick kind of hard there.
I saw his doctor's disbelief. Can I say that? Like, wouldn't it be such a big story if there was a
Oh
doctor
yeah, that's so
completely in
stupid.
shock? Oh my God, NXIVM cured Tourette's.
Well, so he said. So he goes on. He says, I saw him miraculously, precipitously drop after taking a NXIVM, and he capitalized every letter. He's putting respect on their name. Training and working with the organization's leadership, our dear leader. I saw him do more work over the ensuing months to overcome his remaining tics, and I saw his doctor's disbelief
Yeah.
in his accomplishments of becoming a tick-free without formal treatment. His doctor, a neurologist, I'm assuming, who specializes in stuff like this, Tourette's and such, is like, oh, you fixed it. He's not like, yo, let me check this shit out. I'm a doctor. I want to. He's fixed. So I saw his doctor's disbelief. I also watched him find 10 other people with severe Tourette's who wanted to try to replicate his results. I saw firsthand nearly all of them overcome their disorder with only the help from skilled practitioners in NXIVM and motivation from Mark's past success to propel them forward. So he's really, in that paragraph, riding dick hard on NXIVM.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a part of it, but based on reading this.
He goes on to quote, he says about the documentary, I trust it was an honest mistake and that you missed the 2008 YouTube short about him, Tourette's, What Makes You Tick. That came out long before he knew NXIVM existed. I also trust you didn't watch my Tourette's documentary on YouTube that chronicled the journey of him and 4 other people overcoming Tourette's with NXIVM's tools. Don't you find you're just a little fucking hacky, bro? How you're like, and he's sucking the dick of NXIVM and NXIVM's leadership, who is now in jail. One of my favorite parts of that interview when he's like, Keith and also his co-partner, I forget her name, who's also in jail. I was like, yeah, they're all in jail, bro. He goes on, he says, yeah. So I found his warmness to NXIVM a little suspect.
I really couldn't stand how every time he was like, listen, I don't condone rape. I'm not for sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to tell you this girl is lying. And she didn't say it under oath. So she was lying.
This girl
and I'll take this guy, Ranieri, I'll take his word over anything. But this girl is lying. But
and all the other ones.
I hate rape, though. Really hate it. And I don't want to be related to rape. But this guy that they found guilty and they put him in jail, he's right. And the girl lied. Because it wasn't under oath.
Also, he didn't have much to say when I showed him the branding.
Yeah.
He got real quiet when I was like, he's like, why? What does that have to do with anything? I'm like, well, I thought we were talking about Keith Raniere's not being a rapist. Oh, yeah, he said, she's a little kinky. That was so good. He's like, listen, this girl, she's known for being kinky. It's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting to me is hearing his arguments in defense. You can really tell that these opinions have never been challenged in a serious way because he's doing these kind of boilerplate, logical fallacy defense. Like he goes, there was never money exchanged. It's like there was never violence. It's like, what are you talking about, bro? That doesn't absolve it at all.
One last thought I had when I was listening is I wonder if anybody else noticed how much he like sounds like he's trying to imitate Keith Raniere. The way he talks, he sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, I felt when I was talking to him that he was trying to do something with his demeanor, like very purposeful and intentional with the way he carries himself.
It's the NXIVM way.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way they're like, so there's like 17,000 people. It's like the way they pronounce stuff, and they think that if they say numbers, and there's like a mix of like, I'm going to say a few numbers and I'm going to pronounce it a certain way, I'm going to sound so educated and I'm going to convince you. It doesn't matter what I'm telling you, but you're going to be convinced. It's like, that's probably part of their classes.
Definitely. You know? Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing you hear time and time again in these documentaries is that Keith Raniere's was like a very...
You know that it's Raniere, right?
I don't care. Yeah, apparently I've been saying it wrong. Keith Raniere was a incredible speaker, very manipulative in the way that he could talk to people
Yes.
and persuade people, right?
Yeah. So manipulative, it could manipulate you out of having Tourette's. Boom.